So we're now recording, and so tonight got a few things prepped. Obviously, we're going to continue, even though I really want to get this out because I had a little thought today and yesterday, and I thought, okay, well, I'm going to prep the next part of GoPro, and it sort of can be, think of it as a little bit boring, and we've heard it all before, and then today when I was prepping it, it's such an outstanding chapter 5, and it actually dawned on me that if we all picked up our pen after the call tonight, and when you've got time, if you actually pick up your pen and actually write out your verbiage, as Eric Worre suggests, and even right at the end of chapter 5, which we'll go through a bit later on, you can actually see he gives you an example of how to do all the if I, would you, and all that. You can just understand as we go through this chapter, you'll realize, as I did, some of the mistakes you make along the way and how you can make it better. But it's always got to be in your lingo and how you're comfortable with and how it will come across authentically. Okay, before we do that, and also I always need to point out, I'm sure I did last week, Eric Worre's GoPro is almost a little bit old hat. Even though it'll always be face-to-face, belly-to-belly, and speaking to people, he doesn't really address social media in it. But I personally think that you've still got to build your business with the face-to-face and belly-to-belly. If you're really adept and have some success in social media, it's just going to be even better. So as I'm reading it and prepping it, I'm sort of adding little things saying, like when he's saying giving out a CD or a DVD, well, we just don't do that anymore. Mind you, up till 18 months, 2 years ago, I did. I've had so much success with CDs and DVDs, but, they are available still, but I don't think it's really something to give out. Just before we start our Eric Worre, I've just got a couple of housekeeping things. First of all, I need you all to know that behind the scenes, and I haven't rung her today, but Tina is working hard. I've given her a lot of adjustments that I need doing to the Juicy crew. Because when we say, for example, in GoPro that, we need to either give them a DVD or send them a link, what I'm actually trying to achieve, and I'd love some feedback on this, is with the Juicy crew, I'm trying to take some things off there. I'm trying to minimize it, simplify it. So you could actually send a business prospect there. Or even if they're sitting with you, they can choose which DVD, which link they want, which clip. So I actually want a lot of those gone. So what I'm going to be asking some of you leaders to do is to actually, I'm going to allocate 4 or 5 of those videos, the clips. Some of them might be 5 minutes long, some might be longer. And I'd like if you guys could help me and review them and then come back to me and say, look, this is brilliant, it's got to stay, or it's a bit wishy-washy, or it's too American, or we don't need it. And between all of us, we will get that Juicy crew amazing. Because a lot of the changes I've got Tina doing, totally getting rid of Transform 30 and doing CLT and 310, etc., etc. So what I'd like you to consider, and I've actually got Juicy crew open on my phone in preparation. If you're on a laptop or a PC, you'd probably notice across the top there, I think there's 5 rows and there are 4 across. I'm hoping, Tanya, could I ask you please, when you look at the first 5 videos, could I ask you to review those, even if it takes you a week or 2, review those and come back to me. So guys, we're looking at, imagine on a laptop or a PC, there's 4 rows down and 5. Nicole, could I ask you to do the second row, please? Lucy, would you mind doing the 3rd row? Thank you. And Xavier, would you be able to do the 4th row, please? So I'm just going to quickly write that down. What am I? Row, 3rd, 4th. And I think there's 5 rows down. I'll do the 5th one. Sorry, I'm just making notes so I don't forget. And then there are things further down which we'll get onto, like not the actual ones that look like a video clip, but there's some further down like the hour of power calls and all things like that. Once we get through the ones that I'm talking about, we'll go on to some more and we'll do some more reviews and hopefully recruit some other in the team to share the load. Can you just give me a thumbs up or a hands up if you think it's a good idea if we really simplify and minimize the Juicy Crew? So it's really succinct. We just got it there. Yeah, that's what I think too. And like all of us have probably got favorites. Like I know in my notes, I've got a few links that I send people. How would you feel if it was really succinct and really, on the ball? How would you feel if we actually were to send a prospect there and give them the password? Or even if that prospect was sitting with you? You don't think so? Too much? Okay. Tanya's thinking too much. What about you others? Nicole, what do you think? Sorry, you have to unmute yourself, love. Yeah, I've done
already sent them, really.
Sorry, say again?
Depends how much you've already sent them, if you've already sort of,
I'm thinking of someone that you've sent them nothing, but you've maybe told them about the product and you've sent them stuff on the product and want to see if...
Oh, might be all right. Something easy would be good, I think it might be all right, yeah.
I think we'll probably have to really discuss this. I think we need to simplify it and minimise and then ask the question again.
Yeah.
Are you getting rid of, like, for example, the customer care step-by-step thing that's on the Juicy Crew? Are you getting rid of all of those sort of things?
No. This is our team thing where you learn.
Okay, so you're going to combine it as a team thing for us to learn and also for a prospect to look at?
No, it's mainly for our team. I just want to ask the question, particularly if we really review those videos at the top and we only keep the ones that are really good, would it be worthwhile? I mean, you could send someone there and say, I particularly want you to watch the video entitled. Look, I'm just throwing ideas.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all, Hill. I think you send them the video and then follow it up with them.
Okay.
I don't think they should have access
to the website. What if they decide to click on all the other things and start looking at everything else and then they're all overwhelmed?
Yeah, good point. Okay. All right. What I would love to do is to have someone who is really quite successful with recruiting to know exactly what they're sending, just so, not that it's too much, so it's just enough. That would be really interesting at another stage. Okay, so just know that that is happening with the Juicy Crew. But it's more for our purpose anyway, because wouldn't it be great if it was so simple that we all knew about the videos on there. We didn't mind watching them all because it wasn't overload and overwhelm. There's no way. I haven't watched all those videos are on there. No way. We actually want to be in action rather than still learning and that all the time. So that's why I want it to be totally different to the Dropbox. No confusion. It's just right there. Okay, so we'll can that idea of sending prospects there. Okay, let me find my notes again. Before we go on to GoPro, and I might even only do half of GoPro tonight, I'd like to, before I hand over to Tanya, a lot of you probably realise that in the last, I think it's only about the last 3 weeks, well, it's actually the last couple of years globally, we've had a thing called the Healthy Living Revolution, and it's something that Dr. Mitra Ray and a few others really started, and the company actually paid them to share what they have with their teams to everyone, and we can all have a Healthy Living Revolution webpage, and we can send people to it, etc., for Transform 30. So the company here in Australia realised that a lot of people didn't have fabulous programs like the CLT and all that sort of thing. So they have organised it so that everyone has the opportunity to have that sort of thing. And now they've set up a Facebook group. Now, Tanya and I are not for a minute saying, can the CLT, because we love that. We really want it to happen and work. But Tanya had fantastic insight and shared with me that already on that Facebook page, which the people who haven't got a team program are doing, the comments and all that, everything's amazing. So Tanya really is going to chat to us and inspire us that we need to do what is happening there. We all need to get behind the CLT. So over to you, Tanya.
Thanks, Hill. Is anybody on that new group that Celine set up?
I am now. You've added me.
Yeah. So I was in two minds about joining because we've already got, I thought you were, Michelle. I thought that, we've got our fabulous CLT group, and I was like, I don't really need to join another group. But then out of curiosity, I wanted to see what was going to be happening across the nation with Celine kind of being in control of the group. And straight up off the bat, the first thing that you notice in there is the amount of support and the amount of comments that's happening in the posts. Even just today, I've taken just two examples of some of the verbiage that I noticed today, and I thought it was really beautiful. And then it got me thinking, well, why aren't we interacting more with other people's clients on our CLT group? So one of the examples that I saw today was a mum of two had a headache after she went for a walk with two of her kids. And then the comments just started to flow in. One of them was, it might not be enough water, but also your body may not be used to this kind of exercise yet. Keep up the good work. You're on the right path. P.S. Always carry a drink bottle with you. I love to add lemon or ginger. I noticed that I've drank more fluids this way, and your kids are gorgeous. And then another comment was like, wow, go mama, you're already doing an amazing job. Just keep doing what you can around your personal commitments. We're all here for the same reasons: get better, healthier, and happier. And I was just like, oh my God, imagine if you were like brand new to Juice Plus and you've got a headache and you're starting to get these positive comments come through. And then seeing the support. And I know that in our CLT group, there's only a few people that do a lot of interacting with the people that are posting in there. So I just wanted to know, like, if we are all in the CLT group, maybe we should be creating more momentum and leading by example to create these conversations, because it's not only going to help ourselves, but it's going to help like our clients, which is our end of goal. There was another one where someone's a frequent traveler, and they've made an excuse that it's always too hard to eat right because they're always traveling. And then just beautiful comments like, you've got this, wow, that's awesome, herbal teas are so yum, I have those in place of coffee, you've got this. And I was just reading going, wow, like this is fantastic to have such a big community, and there's only 100 and something people on that group already, and to have so many positive comments on there already. I was just really questioning, why aren't we doing it in our groups?
Yeah. Tanya, that's awesome, and thank you. And when Tan and I discussed that, we're actually talking about the live that Tamara did the other day when she said it was a rant, but it wasn't a rant and all that, because she really needed people to step up and do recipes for the Christmas thing. And so many people stepped up and shared and all that. And even I looked at it and I thought, wow, isn't this great? So imagine what Tanya's saying is, imagine even the six of us, even if we're not doing a lot on CLT, like for the life of me, I can't get people into it, but I'm very happy. Stuff the likes, do comments, do little things.
And we've been told over and over that the comments are, what builds the relationship.
Yeah.
And the same thing, I think, that goes on our timelines as well. I think that, like, if I see Nicole or Xavier or Michelle post like a smoothie, I'm like, oh, yum, that looks good, because it's that attraction marketing, like what Abby was just talking about. It's creating that community, it's creating that fear of missing out and that I'll have what she's having kind of experience. So I like, to make sure that when I see something on like your timelines, that I kind of ask myself, what can I do to support, like, even though I don't make any money off you, but like, what can I do to support, add encouragement, create excitement, or help your business? Like, we're all in the same team. We're all on the same mission. So that's what I was, getting at as well. Like, if we're all bound together, it's safety in numbers when people are looking at our timelines.
Yeah. And I will speak to Tamara tomorrow night and suggest that she does a post, like a live, like she did the other night, and I'll explain exactly what you've said and done, Tanya, because, you're just adding that and saying that to me. I totally agree. And now that you've added me to that, and Lucy's asking to be added as well, I can see exactly what you're saying, and we really do need to do that. So if we could all sort of try and step up and do a little bit of that, but it's more not just us, we're going to try and get all hunters and gatherers to do. So I'll mention that to tomorrow. So thanks for that, Tanya. Awesome. Brilliant. Okay. The other thing, there's only 6 of us on, but just are you guys going to the Christmas party or planning to or getting tickets? Fantastic. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Let's go on to GoPro. Now, as it is, we've really only seriously got 5 minutes. So what I'm going to do, and I've only just decided this, because we've only got 5 more minutes and everyone's probably getting tired, I'm actually going to go right to the back of the chapter that I've prepped. And it's where Eric virtually says, okay, so looking at all the things we've just discussed and rules and strategies, here's some dialogue. So I'm just going to share that with you. Who actually has the book? Okay. All right. I will definitely do this chapter 5 next week, but I just want to read you the last little bit. Okay, so he talks about 8 steps. Excuse me. And he says, here are some examples of all the 8 steps. And the 8 steps, just so I can refresh you, because I know most of you have listened or read it. 8 steps are, get there in a minute. Got so much notation in here. All right, let's just go straight to it. Here's some examples. A person you know who hates their job. So this is basically a direct approach. Excuse me. Hey, I don't have a lot of time to talk, but it was really important I reached you. Listen, you're one of the most financially intelligent people I know, and I've always respected that about you. When you told me you really didn't like your job, were you serious or were you just kidding around? The person says they're serious. Excuse me, I haven't got a drink. Great. I think I found a way for you to create an exit strategy. I have a CD, and we would say a YouTube link that describes what I'm talking about better than I can. If I gave you this link, would you go and watch it? They say yes. When do you think you could watch it for sure? They say Tuesday. So if I called you Wednesday morning, you'll have reviewed it for sure, right? They say yes. All right, I'll check back with you then. What's the best number and time for me to call? They give the information. Got it. We'll talk then. Got to run. Thanks. Now, obviously, I can almost see Eric Warre doing that. That doesn't sound like a Hillary or a Tanya or a Nicole or whoever's on the call. But if you actually go through the steps, and we will do it next week, you could actually do this, and you could do it so it sounds right for you, because this works. It was Kimmy Tyak who was on that call a couple of weeks ago, and she says she used it all the time. If I, would you? So as I was reading the proper full steps, it all really made sense to me. Now, reading that to you, as I've said, that doesn't sound like me. There's another example, more an indirect approach. Hey, I'm running out the door, but I need to talk to you real quick. Do you have a second? Great. Listen, you've always been so supportive of me, and I appreciate that so much. I've just started a new business, and I'm really nervous. Before I get going, I need to practice on someone friendly. Would you mind if I practiced on you? Yeah, they say, sure, great. If I gave you a DVD that laid out the information, blah, blah, blah. So I think you guys understand what I'm saying. So next week, we're going to do it in depth and by each step. But what I was going to say, thinking I would get through a lot of this tonight, is that at the end of next week, I really suggest you actually write out saying what he said, but totally in your own verbiage and your own style and personality. because that's something that I've decided I'm going to do, because I think, you know, even we're told not to, strategies that work for one person won't necessarily work for another person. But I still think that this is such a good strategy that has worked for so many people. If we do it with our own flavour, it just might work. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel at this stage I've got nothing to lose. This isn't just fluff and learning about the product and a bit of research. This is actually giving you a procedure to follow to try and get that person interested. And I really love the reverse psychology one. You know, particularly now I'm trying to go through all my customers and saying, I know this isn't for you. Like, I'm actually saying they can't do it, but I'm hoping that you might think of someone who I can approach or I can ring and just share some information, because our sales have quadrupled this last 12 months and blah, 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 blah. So I think what I'm trying to say to you is that when I read this, I really saw the merit in it. But again, you have to do it yourself. So next week we'll go through it and you'll understand what I'm blabbing on about. But it really is beneficial. This book has been an absolute bestseller. It's most network marketers' Bible. So I wouldn't say that any of us are absolutely jumping out of our skin and being rushed with new distributors and customers. So I think we should grab anything we can. So let's call it a night, but next week we'll really get right into it and see exactly what we can do. I would suggest, if anyone has the time, to actually either go to your audio or go to your book and actually read it, and even maybe before our call next week, do your little bit of homework. If you don't, it's not a big deal. This is your business. But if you can, I'm actually going to put it on my to-do list and try and do it myself. And it might be interesting, because when I speak to you how I'm practicing talking to someone, you'll be able to tell whether that sounds like Hillary or not, and you'll be able to know your own self. All right, so before we head off for our nights time, any questions, anything anyone would like to say? No? Anyone?
I'll say the videos, so do we need to have them? I don't know how many videos there are to watch, but obviously we've got to have that to feedback by next week. So
if you have it, everyone's busy. Even if it's done in the next 2 weeks, I would really, really appreciate that. If you can have it done by next week, that's great. What I might actually do is, if each of you let me know when you've watched your videos, and then I'll personally call you and you can give me your feedback and review.
Okay.
Okie doke. And if you're a little bit, if your opinion is a little bit, you know, neither here nor there, then I'll actually have a look at that one as well and maybe make an executive decision. Woo. Okay. All right, everyone. So everyone understands what they're doing. Thanks so much, guys. Keep your chins up. There's a great stuff out there. It's happening everywhere. And we've still got a lot of good things happening as well. Night, everyone.